Welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show. Here now with Hartford Current columnist Rick Green, my old running mate here in the newsroom. So we had Keating on. Come on, real quick, your projection. Let's talk a little politics first. We're going to do the MDC. What do you think is going to happen here in this governor's race?
I don't see how Foley doesn't win for the Republicans. And if I was,
money.
Yeah, and if I was going to bet, we're looking at Lamont Foley.
Money.
Yeah. Greenwich.
Ooh, Greenwich millionaire. Okay,
yeah.
Well, bring it back in for that.
Yeah.
This MDC issue, West Hartford,
sure.
This popular reservoir, folks biking and hiking. I guess 8 years ago, a lady gets hurt over there, gets settlement recently for $2.9 million, and MDC saying, wait a second, hold the phone, we got to pay, damages like this. No more. Possibly, let's talk about, should we even do this? They aren't proposing it, they're simply saying we need to look at this, right?
So the lawyers look at this jury verdict where of $2.9 million and say, well, maybe the walkers, the bikers, the runners, 30,000 people a year, I think, something like that, use that place from Hartford, West Hartford, the Farmington Valley. This week you had a public hearing in West Hartford where
350 people show up, right?
More than that. I was there. I would say more like 800 to 1,000 because many people couldn't get in. People saying, hey, this is our park. You're telling us we can't walk, run, bike. They're looking for the legislature to give the MDC immunity so they can't be sued at all.
That's the quick fix here, right? So all the posturing, the real fix here is give them an exemption where they can't be sued, and it's over with, right?
Right. And even within that, in general, MDC can't be sued. But in this little narrow area where the judge said that this was a problem created by MDC, they put up a gate that this woman crashed into, even though she was riding, Stan, the wrong way with her head down, crashed into the gate, jury awards her $2.9 million.
And held up under appeal? Or will it be appealed?
It's being appealed.
Okay.
And I think probably, arguably, the MDC has a pretty good case here. But they're saying, hey, our insurance might be canceled, our premiums might go up. Maybe we close this place off.
Right.
You had people the other night saying, hey, wait a minute, this is almost like an urban park for Greater Hartford. And it's not some, the MDC isn't some private entity.
Right.
It's 8 towns around Hartford that own this place.
Well, a lot of issues, who controls the MDC? Can the, quote, MDC do anything? Because you said really it's the people who own the MDC, right? They can't do it. You have 1,000 people saying you don't do this. They'd be hard-pressed to do that, I would think, right?
And that was the point some folks were making the other night. Saying,
Andy Fleischman from West Hartford, right?
said, hey, wait a minute. You got this land and this water because these 8 towns came together because we needed to create a water company.
We're your boss.
Yeah, well, in effect, although there's a board of commissioners that presides over the MDC, and they'll be the ones ultimately to decide. But the folks there were saying, whoa, wait a minute. You need to listen to us. There's no proof that they're going to be sued more just because there's one verdict. They do have insurance, by the way. So it's not like...
But the point well taken, if the insurance expires and you lose a $3 million lawsuit...
That's a big problem.
That's not going to be there anymore.
That's a big problem. But we don't know that they're going to lose their insurance coverage here.
But if you're the insurance company and you lose $3 million, your premiums are going to be going up. Fair to say at the very least.
Right. Exactly. Right? I think the long-term fix, you're going to see the legislature looking at giving the MDC some more immunity.
The broader issue, too, MDC, the second largest landowner in the state.
I think it is,
10,000 acres, so it's not just the reservoir. There are other areas they own that people have access to, right?
There's a lake out in Barkhamsted. There's another reservoir off of Farmington Avenue out 44. The surprising thing about all this was the variety of people that stood up and said, hey, this is our park, and you can't just close it off. It's pretty amazing to get 800 people out on a July night.
Absolutely.
From really all over, not just West Hartford. You're seeing towns all over Greater Hartford.
And parks should be used that way, right? For bikers and hikers and walkers. I mean, that's what parks are there, right? Take advantage of it and engage. You're a biker, right? You go out there and you've ridden.
And I've been running for years around there. But
have you had a crash out there, though?
I've had a few wipeouts.
You're pretty safe, right, aren't you?
The lawsuit hasn't come to mind there.
But you think about it now, right?
Yeah.
So what happens next? What's your gut tell you then when this is all said and done?
I can't believe they would close off the reservoir. I think people would go nuts. I think the MDC is smart enough to realize that they're sending a message to the legislature. Give us some kind of fix. And meanwhile, they can appeal this. You get the legislature to commit to, tweaking the law in some way to make it tougher to sue them.
Bart Halloran, the attorney for MDC, is a smart guy.
Yeah, so trial lawyer himself.
Yeah, so there's some posturing going on here, too.
Interesting to see a trial lawyer advocating for immunity there, But Yeah, I can't, especially the politics of this. You wouldn't see, so many people are jazzed up about this that, the MDC got what they want. They got everybody mad, and they're saying to the legislature, do something.
In an election year.
In an election year.
Right, so now it becomes an election issue, right?
You already have a representative from Bloomfield, David Barham, who says he's going to introduce legislation to deal with this.
Right.
So, I mean, they'll move quickly on this, I think.
All right, let me change gears. Hit the MDC. Yeah. Back to politics. You're a politics
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
Joe Ganim out. I thought it was interesting that he didn't downplay running for, mayor of
Isn't that what they
again.
do? Come back and run again?
They always do, right?
But
yeah.
Barry?
Possible here? I mean, this was a pretty egregious case of corruption.
Seems like it. And Bill Finch is a pretty popular guy, don't you think?
Yeah, but I think he's vulnerable over there. When you have people who tell you on the street that they'd vote for Ganim again, I think anyone who comes after him is going to be vulnerable. And I think Finch is vulnerable.
And he's, another one of these kind of larger-than-life sort of characters. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Jody Rell, you've taken some shots over the years. She's sort of her exit year here. Your thoughts on the legacy of the governor?
Geez, I don't know. Isn't it going to depend on how what kind of changes we have to make once the next governor takes over? If we got to cut the heck out of the budget and we're laying people off, and Connecticut struggles to get out of the recession, it doesn't make Jody Rell look too good, does it?
Although at the end, though, they may say she was a caretaker post-Rowland, and that may still bode well for her, where people see her as a person who came in post-corruption. She tried to keep things clean, and maybe she didn't have the greatest vision in the whole world, but she wasn't John Rowland.
Right. There's this argument out there that says whoever's the next governor is going to look good because the economy is bound to get better, right?
Or the flip side is that it's going to look real bad because it may take 4 years to get the economy going, right? The question really is, who wants to dig in there in 30 seconds? Who wants to do that? Who really had the motivation to go in there and deal with that? And
can guys like Lamont and Malloy say no to the unions after the unions get them maybe elected?
The issue of a business person versus a career service person. What's better? Because the things you can do in business, you can't do in government. You get you arrested. 30 seconds.
I think you need somebody who can say no to the Democrats, to the Republicans, to the employee unions, to UTC. I think we need somebody who can say no more than a politician.
All right. You're telling us to say no now. We got to cut it off right here. We'll get you back on. He's Rick Green, Hartford Current Columnist. Want to thank all our guests, Eric Crawford, Chris Keating, Mr. Green. You can send your show comments or requests or even watch us again at ctnow.com and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of the Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for our tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next. Stop laughing, Rick. For the good folks here at Fox 61, I'm Stan Simpson. See you next week. Look out for our tweets.